Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Circle of the World podcast, where we discuss Joe Abercrombie's First Law series. I am one of your hosts, Lord Chamberlain Jeffrey, and here are my co-hosts,
Archlector George,
and Harrison, the Adeptus Historical.
and we continue our coverage of the Age of Madness trilogy with A Little Hatred, and we read through The New Man, Two of a Kind, and Empty Chests. So let's get started. As usual, folks, we're going to thank you for your continued support, your devotion to this cult of ours. We appreciate you all. We got some more comments. The Discord is lively. We love it. We love it. We love it. I probably should make a reappearance on the subreddit with the post. Harrison, I guess you and me can talk about what kind of posts we can provide.
It should be quite a bit easier for me here soon.
I think we've discovered our own fan base without the help of any kind of social media at all.
Well, true, but you know what? I do kind of want to get back to the days of discussing certain posts on Reddit or what people have said on Discord. Like I kind of want to get back to that too, So I would like that. I would like that.
So let us know what kind of polls and questions you'd like to see.
Yes, or actually, this could be part of the community interaction segment. Folks, if there's something you want us to talk about, we'll create a separate segment, right? And we'll just talk about only what you want, okay? So you tell us,
Jeff.
And you will run an entire segment. Obviously, we perform it, but you tell it to us, all right? How about that? And you send that to us either via Reddit, Discord, or messaging us or emailing us. How about that?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Wow, I can't believe it took us 205 episodes to come up with that.
Yeah.
We're pretty brilliant.
Also, who knows? That might be the beginning of the end of this podcast if I just set us up for failure somehow. Who knows? But we'll see. And to finish off the community interaction segment, we're just going to remind you. No, that's it. That's done. We're done with the memeing every chapter thing for A Little Hatred, right?
It's finished. It's done. Wait for the next one and sign up for the next one. You lazy bastards. Come on.
Yeah, The Trouble with Pizza is one of the greatest books of all time. You should sign up for it.
Meh.
How dare you?
I just wanted to piss off Harrison.
How dare
you succeeded.
Oh, no, my back. Oh, loyal listeners, your Lord Chamberlain pulled his back chastising a peasant. And every time your Lord Chamberlain laughs, there's a sharp pain in my lung or something. So fuck. So this will be.
Some call it karma,
Oh, shut up. So this will be.
That's all the very funny way of saying that Jeff doesn't like this trilogy very much.
Like I said before, I think I said it either last week or the week before. I am enjoying A Little Hatred more.
Me too.
From what I remember. So
I actually remember when we were talking to the Jeff, you said, and I quote, "It's not as woke as I thought it was."
Oh, did I say that? I don't remember saying that.
No, I was making that up.
Oh, good Christ! Thank you. I was like, "What the
it's
fuck?"
It's funny that you thought that it might have been the truth.
I was like, "Wait a minute! Did I say that? What? Not me." Not after the last episode where, evidently I was very woke. So with that, we'll move on to our first chapter read through, which is The New Man. And this is all about Orso, his perspective, and the post-coital bliss that he was.
Yes, it's like the perfect morning. You wake up. And you hear that song, the classical music. And everything's perfect. You see the gentle fluttering of the birds, and then you see your lover, and everything's fine. And then
Orso is having something that he's never had in his life: positive post-nut clarity. He's never had that.
That's true. He's only ever paid for it.
No.
Or been in a position over somebody to subtly, unexpectedly exploit them for it,
Well, him and Savine have been doing this for
Yeah, but Savine is the only person in the union that you could call his equal.
And well, They are. I don't mean because they haven't had sex before. I mean because they've had sex in like a very positive, loving way, and almost in a brotherly, sisterly way. You know.
Almost. Well, that's a weird thing to say in the first place, but yeah, yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? We're so happy for Orso here because he's found the woman of his dreams that would complete him and make his life whole and everything. But unfortunately, she is his half sister.
To quote the great Euro Trip, "You made out with your sister, man."
Oh, he did. He did more than that. I think
He did more than that. He did that. He did more than that. Oh boy, yeah. So,
and then also goes to make the breakfast, to make everything right for Savine. Oh, we're gonna go and get everything right, but obviously the first thing he does is go to his maidservant Hildy. Got to get the stove lit because he can't do it himself. Obviously, he might be a war hero, but he is still the crown prince. So somebody else
is he a war hero?
Yeah, now he is, obviously. Anyway. But then Hildy comes in and she's stomping around and being a bit more moody than usual. Also, is like, why are you stomping in my mood, bitch? Come on, what's going on? And Hildy's like, you fucking knew this would happen.
And he's like,
what the fuck? What are you talking about? Like,
he's like, I'm not drunk and I don't know what's going on.
Well, as he covers his cock with his pants and his dressing gown, and he heads out into the field. You know, he goes through the tent flap, and the sun is shining bright. And he's like, well, this looks like normal. There's, you know, a bunch of people making tents and stuff, and then, you know, I don't get it. Like, what's going on? And then he sees a very tall pole being erected, and from it hangs a gibbet, or you know, what you know as a cage, and in it is a dead man. And the gibbet turns, and it's Malmer.
Very dramatically.
It's Malmer. And Orso is just like, what the fuck? And there's a wagon, you know, near that pole, and there's a bunch of, you know, it's practicals, you know, they're hoisting up more poles. So that means there's. Go ahead.
They're hoisting up tons of poles, and I like the fact that also looks over and sees, you know, everyday goings about, you know, soldiers doing their thing, laughing, having a joke, officers having their breakfast. Like, this is all normal, right?
Yeah.
Hanging a man in a cage is just a day-to-day business. And this is a smack in the face for Orso, isn't it? Even though he's seen this kind of thing before.
What is it? Random soldier like, "Good morning, Your Majesty." Like, "What's up, homie?"
Is it?
I think the contrast here too is he goes from this, he believes is the catharsis.
What are you trying to say? Cathartic?
Yes, this moment in his life he's been waiting for his entire life, to be with someone who supports him and believes in him, to finally rise to the occasion, as he thinks he never has had the chance to, even though that is his own fault, and that's a whole other issue. And he thinks that
everything else will work out the same way that he's felt that way.
Yes, and he also thinks too, like, he has these dreams and aspirations, the same way, kind of very similarly to the way Giselle felt before Bios put him in his place. And you know, as many of us has felt, you know, whenever things start looking really bright, when things start looking really bright, and one thing goes wrong, it quickly can go really, really bad, because, you know, your expectations are so high. And just to see, you know, not only is it, yeah, I have a feeling, I wonder if Pike did this on purpose. They put Malmer right in front of his tent, bro. Malmer, genuinely a good man, and it's sad. And they as you're about to say, Pike basically tells them that they're taking 200 of the ringleaders, which means they're taking all the moderates who have influence, out and killing them all. And
like that's not gonna have an effect.
Yeah.
And not to mention, this is a very obvious kind of reference to Spartacus, or the Servile Wars of the early Roman Republic. When there's a major uprising, you got to make an example. So we're going to put people either crucified, gibbets, whatever, every 40 feet for however long. It's a very similar thing.
And so, obviously, Superior Pike, he tells them that, look, this edict came straight from the king and all 12 members of the closed council, yada, yada.
He pulls a whole Grima Wormtongue thing. He holds up a little document with the seal and he goes, "This order does not come from me. It comes from the king."
But it's so interesting that also kind of knows this. He even says it when he's in the negotiation with Vic and Bulma and Solby. He's like, and Hood. Not Hood.
Heron.
Whatever. Heron, yeah. He's like, nothing I say really matters. I can promise you amnesty, but whatever. But he doesn't really think about it that way. He doesn't think about the ramifications of what his behavior actually means. He's still playing a game at this point. And then when he finally sees a dead body hanging from a cage and goes, "Fuck, that was me. I did that."
Yeah.
That's a big. This is probably one of also defining character moments for me.
Awesome. Explain that. I mean,
he just doesn't know how to deal with it. He's just completely gobstruck. He looks at everybody and he's looking at Pike, and I can see him almost in tears and just being like, "Well, you said," and Pike's like, "I didn't say anything."
Well, he realized obviously that what you said earlier about like him kind of joking about how he's not really in charge of anything, and he felt so proud of himself, obviously, by being able to negotiate the surrender, that he thought he did something well. He was able to find Savine. He saved a lot of people's lives, saved the lives of soldiers that they didn't have to, try to storm the town, things like that. But like you say, he didn't think it through, like what would happen to these supposed ringleaders. And
exactly.
The fucked up thing. But it's like the fucked up thing is like they know that it's Rizanau and Judge, and Malmer is kind of like, "Hey, I'm just here. I just ended up being here. I don't fucking know."
But that's the thing, isn't it? Like the whole thing, because it's planned, especially by Pike, it doesn't mean anything. They're like, "Oh, it's Rizanau." It's like, yeah, whatever.
Well,
we're just going to keep torturing you anyway. So we already know that.
So here's an interesting thing, right? I was under the impression, right, as I was reading this, earlier, I was like, "Oh, this is obviously Glocta and Pike's part of their plan to continue to like push things to a breaking point, because they had to know that this was going to have a." So I was like, I thought that this, they're just overriding Orso, right? That Pike is and all that stuff. However, the presence of sulfur being there makes it feel very much as if this came from Baez or this came from sulfur.
Okay, hang on.
And I just want to point out something real quick.
If it's a misdirection, but yeah.
Here's the thing: if it did come from sulfur, I'm just saying there is an irony in that, because then it's like, oh, they played sulfur and Baez or whatever played right into the hands of Pike and Glocta's wishes.
That's what I'm thinking. That's a good point. Yeah. So my thought is Yoru is there because he's a representative of Baez. Pike knows that. Also, they have to sell this. Yeah. They have to make sure that if Baez was here, he would have executed them. Just be like, "Fuck you, I'm in charge." That's how he would have operated.
But Baez would have done it quiet.
Yeah.
Not on display.
Well, they're trying to sell it.
Baez, ever since the Seed, right? Baez has gotten way more comfortable with being very overt with his power.
But I just think like Baez does do a general practical overview of tactics, and he's like, "Well, this city has rebelled, and now they're calm, so I'll take the ringleaders and just kill them quietly." So everything goes back to normal, and I can just get the most out of the town, rather than
I don't know about that.
He can still get back 99% of the infrastructure.
Okay, I think there's a lot of things going on. I don't think it's one thing or the other. I think it's Yoru's here, so they have to play as though Baez was making the decision. However, they also were planning on doing something similar anyways, and so because they need to make it the worst great change possible, and this is helpful in doing that. Number 3, we don't have all the perspectives. Baez is a little bit different, but Baez isn't the one making the decision. Yoru Sulfur is just present. He's not actually making decisions. He's just there to go, oh, Baez would approve or disapprove. So he's not asserting influence yet, other than his presence. But I do think
you're completely right, Harrison. We see Yoru Sulfur like being present at many events without really trying to take action.
Well, I think it's more like what you. Okay, so I was gonna say because Yoru, if he's there as a representative of Baez, and because Baez is so far away, Yoru is gonna have like Baez obviously is gonna give Yoru like permission, like, hey.
Yeah, but he's got a word. He's got a word to say to somebody, but he's not gonna try and get involved with the ranks or try and get in and be a proper spy or undermine anything. He's just gonna try and talk to people. And then come back to Baez because he's a little pussy.
I don't know about that.
Yoru Sulfur is a little pussy.
Well, I mean, you just have a.
We know how you feel about him.
Yeah, considering all the good he did in the original trilogy.
All the good, yeah.
Yeah, all the good. And then so obviously that chapter. I mean, Pike and Sulfur try to make Orso feel a little better, but not really, because they're busy. They're like, okay, whatever. And Tunney comes up with the tea finally, and not Hildy, but Tunney. And Orso gets mad at him. He's like, why didn't you get me? And Tunney goes, well, you were kind of busy, my guy. And also, what good would have it done? Would have it done? And he goes, Orso says he could have stopped it, even though he was struggling to find the words. And Tunney just kind of gives him a pat on the shoulder and goes, no, you couldn't. And Orso,
it's a good moment.
Yeah, and Orso kind of like really thinks, he figures it out. Like, yeah, I couldn't have done anything. And then that's pretty much how that chapter ends.
I think it's really good that it comes from Tunney, because from anybody else, it would just be hollow. But because we know Tunney, and we know that he actually does feel that way.
Yeah.
Nobody else reuses characters like Joe.
That's true.
Let's just say that.
So what would you rate this chapter?
I'm going to give this one a 7. I love Orso's reaction. Orso is just such an innocent, sweet child. And I say innocent, like, compared to royalty and all the people that murder people when they get power. He's innocent. He's more innocent than Savine. Way more innocent than Savine.
Yeah, very, very true.
And he's probably the most innocent person in this trilogy, actually. He's more innocent than Vic, Broad, Savine, Leo. Or maybe not Leo. Leo's probably the most innocent, but in a different way. But, goddamn, Leo also has his fucking cherry broken here, doesn't he? He realizes the consequences of his own reactions. I actually might put it up to an 8. And now I realize I am rambling. So
you're good, Harrison.
I think I'm going to give it a 6 and a knuckle, because I really do like how the dichotomy of his beginning part of the chapter. I know it's short, but the beginning part of the second half, how he basically has all these hopes and dreams, and it is so. What's the term? Relatable that he feels this way after having like this really nice moment with somebody he loves. The world feels totally conquerable, and then reality sets in. But I also like how at the end too, like Tunney has this really good moment where he comforts him, which is not typically something you'd think Tunney would do. But also, Orso is saddened by this, but this isn't what really brings him down. it's a situation with Savine that brings him down by the end of this book, and this situation bothers him, but he learns from this. I think he learns and he grows, and that's also relatable. Tony said the right thing. You couldn't have done anything. Let's move on, and I think he does. I like that. I'm gonna give it 6 knuckle.
Just before you give yours, Jeff, I've just realised that this is the happiest that Orso will ever be in his life.
Dude, what the fuck, man?
I think you're right, you bastard.
You son of a bitch. Thanks, George.
Yeah. Oh, God, I feel so bad now. Jeff, your score.
I'll give it a 6. Thanks. Fuck. Enjoy the chapter. The highs of Orso and the lows of Orso. So it's not much more I can add than what you guys have said. So 6 out of 9 figures for me.
That's pretty funny.
Yep. So with that, we'll move on to our next segment, which is our best meme of the week. Georgie boy, that's you. Take it away.
So this week we have the Bloody Niner, predictably. We have the Bloody Niner, but it is a meme every chapter, which you probably missed by now if you're listening. Which, to be fair, is not many people, and probably only the people that post meme of the week. So I shouldn't be discouraging you. Keep posting, Ashley. Yeah. So this is the Bloody Niner, meme every chapter, a little hatred and a little bit of courage. It's Leo and Savine and Durand looking off into the distance. And is that X-Men?
Yeah.
Yeah. Durand is the thirsty boy. I've never seen anybody more desperate in a fiction book than Durand. He literally becomes a homicidal maniac just to please Leo, and he still doesn't. Thirsty as fuck.
He is very thirsty. That's really funny, though.
It's true. This is absolutely true. Bloody Niner, Josh, you got it right there.
You've done it again.
Got it. Done it again.
You wily old dog, you.
Yeah, so thank you.
Well, thank you for that. Bloody Niner. Appreciate it. That was a good one. As always. I don't think he's ever missed. Has he missed?
Not that I know of.
Not that we know of. No, sirree, Bob. Nope. So we'll move on to our next segment, which is our second chapter read through. And this is Two of a Kind. And this one, Leo Dancock's perspective. Yeah. So he's getting his wounds tended to because Stour Shyfall couldn't fucking do the job and kill him outright. And so Finry's there tending to his wounds, and
he's like, oh, it hurts. It hurts a little bit. Just not so much, but just a little bit down there.
Oh my god.
It's so stupid.
So Finry has this wild idea that apparently, like Stolakis said, to kill an enemy is cause for relief. To make a friend of him is cause for celebration. If you can make a friend of the great wolf.
So this is you're so funny, Jeff. So Finry is like Calder, right? I've kind of talked about it before. She was too soft on Leo, unfortunately. So because she was too soft, she can't help but instead of chastise the shit out of him for being a little idiot about leaving another homicidal maniac alive, she instead goes, "Oh, honey, baby, don't feel bad about it. I know Rick is mad, but I'm not mad. You're a good person in the inside. That's why you spared him. It's going to be okay. You just have to make friends with him. We can turn this into a positive outcome. Okay?"
I think you might have a little bit of a simple view of it. I think maybe...
Hold on.
Finry is sort of...
She's being tactical, yes, but she's also being...
Well...
She obviously is favouring Leo, but also she realises that Leo would be able to connect with him on a certain sense.
And also, don't forget... Look, go ahead, George, finish your thought.
I do really think that, like you said, Harrison, she is sort of succumbing to this sort of melancholy that everybody comes to when they come to their lazy life, you know?
Maybe. What I will say is that I know the idea is like, oh, that she's being soft on him, but we know that to not necessarily be true. We know that from the end of the trilogy, or was it Trouble with Peace or whatever the fuck that conversation Leo has with Finry? He kind of, tells her like, you and Dad fucking sucked, and then even here she goes, "You deserve the rewards. I'm proud of you." And he starts to tear up because that's all. It's almost like he never realized how much you wanted to hear those words. So she is very sparing. She's not overly effusive. She's not what you would call a helicopter coddle parent, whatever the fuck.
I don't.
I,
Mm,
I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I don't know if it's that.
I think that.
And I hate Leo.
It's very
And I hate Leo.
everything that has been said up to this point in the trilogy is true, right? So Leo is only in charge right now because he is a man. If meritocracy was the way of the world in this world, then Finry would be in charge.
It would be Finry.
So when Finry says she's trying to, like you say, manipulate him, it's the only way she knows how to make things right the way that she thinks should be.
Okay, that's a good point.
And that is just the way that everybody is. Everybody says manipulate about the way that people make other people feel things. But that's just the way that everything is, right? You make people feel things. Is that manipulation? Well, only if you do it on purpose, apparently.
Only if you do it on purpose, apparently.
So that's some good points. I don't mean like Finry is a one-dimensional. She only coddles him as bad as coddled Star Nightfall. I think you guys are right. I just thought that maybe she
could have been harder on him. Yeah.
She could have been harder on him here. It seems to be. Here's what I see. Is that whenever Theo, not my son, never my son. Whenever Leo starts to feel sorry for himself or is all hurt, she sees, similar to Calder, she sees this little boy who she loves so dearly and very understandable, very relatable. And instead of pressing on with an adult human being and being like, you got to learn from this, you got to be better, blah, 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 you should make friends with him. She's more like, baby, you're just a good. It's not the fact that her advice was bad. It's the fact that she said, you're just a good person in your heart. That's why you spared him.
She is a mother, and those emotions, everything else, and biology complete will make you biased no matter what. And I would love that. I hate the fact that every single time we get like a TV show or a movie suggestion, it's always about like one of the books. It's like, well, yeah, but you wouldn't ever get the context. Like here with Leo. Could you not imagine Finry looking at Leo and then a flashback to when he was a boy and just seeing that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And just these moments that just they just fill the imagination for me in some way that no other author does. Bravo, Joe Abercrombie.
So we obviously with all that, with Finry and the conversation Finry had with Leo, bit of a break, and Leo is making his way to the north side of the Northman camp, right? Let's just call it that. And everyone's like staring at him, staring daggers at him. Even one guy's like sharpening a sword, like extra, rough. Shing, shing, shing.
There's a guy sharpening a sword. There's a guy eating an apple. There's a guy spitting dramatically.
Oh, gentlemen, not to jump back too far here, but in the last chapter, we forgot a very iconic part. When Yoru sits up in the cart, he's eating an apple like an evil villain.
Oh, yes, that's right. He is eating.
I forgot to point that out.
Yeah. That's fair.
That is true.
Yoru Sofa is a cartoon villain.
Yeah, and so he's walking over there with Durand and Gloward, and they get to this house that they assume that's where Stour is going to be, and out comes Black Calder. Black Calder, Calder. He's funny. He goes, well, you're bold to come here, Leo Dambrock. Very bold, very foolish. And I like how Leo's like, can a man be both? That Calder just was stone faced, just nothing.
But I love how like he's just like, he thinks to himself, oh, that was dumb.
So basically Calder just kind of doesn't have time for him. When he tells him that he's here to make friends with Stour, he goes, even bolder, but good luck to you. And then Leo tells him, like, hey, your man have no business squatting on the dog man's land with warlike looks, especially. It's it's past time they went back to their families and remembered how to smile. And Calder goes, huh. The feat makes him surly, and he walks away. And I know Leo's probably like, tough crowd. And
but
so
we know that Calder was against this whole operation in the first place,
against the
the whole invasion of the
No, he wasn't.
protectorate.
No,
Well, he
Calder was
was
behind
because
it.
no, definitely not. Right?
Yes, he was.
We
He
see
spent
Harrison, right? We see that Stour and Scale Ironhand are the ones that are the impetus for the invasion. They're the ones that want to invade things and take and kill and burn. And Calder's just like, okay, well, I'll put my stratagem behind whatever. Is that not the way we see things? I thought that was just common sense.
I think there is two. I mean, yes and no. Yes, Calder wants to bring the North underneath his rule. That is his goal. That is his objective. It has been for a long time. How they go about it, how it started, the methods they're taking, Calder definitely originally approved of. However, it's obviously gone out of his hands, and that's what he doesn't like. That's why he's all disagreeable now, because it's been a year almost or whatever.
Well, I mean, the first time that we see Calder in this trilogy is when he's asking Jonas Clover for help, and he's like, "Steer my son down the right path."
Yeah,
and
but
that
like
could
not
easily be just not invade people.
That's not even close to it.
They were already invading.
They were already invading. They were
steer people away from the invasion bit.
No, he was just telling he was trying to have Jonas teach Stour to not be a shitefall.
I don't know. I don't think Calder is the kind of person to actually try and invade other people.
He definitely always wanted this.
Yes. Stated goal. He wanted to fulfill Bethod's wish of a united North.
He also did. He also went and ousted. He killed his own father-in-law. He ousted a whole bunch of the war chiefs.
Yeah.
He killed
Consolidated
people,
his power. Yes.
Women and children.
Yes.
He absolutely. I mean, he's like everybody else. The monster.
And it's well known that Black Calder, I'm not going to keep calling him Black Calder, but Calder is basically the driving force behind Scale's edicts. We know that. For a fact.
I think that now that the invasion has started, it's gotten out of hand for him personally, because now the warriors are in charge during the battle part, and he doesn't like that.
I think it was out of hand from the first time we saw Calder in this trilogy, when he has to go to Jonas Clover and go, keep him in line.
Yeah,
it's an admission that he can't do it.
Yeah, because
it's out of his hands.
You have to remember, they each probably command their own force. So he's not. He's like, Stour has his own force.
You know what? I don't mean that Calder wouldn't unite the North under, for moral reasons. I mean, like, he wouldn't do it because it's not practical.
He would do it. That's his whole goal.
No,
it's his whole goal, but it's still not practical. Even though they're doing it, it's still not practical. That's what I mean.
Why is it not practical to kick the Union out?
Because it's not. It doesn't work. It never works.
Well, he's not you, though. He's Calder. He's
Calder.
He his family first.
Yeah, but Calder is also under the plan of Baez, right?
No,
so
he's not.
Okay,
hold on.
So we'll. Yes, he is. What are you on about?
Kinda is, right? But remember, he wouldn't have invaded unless Yoru / Baez probably would have approved of. But remember, even that conversation with Yoru, he's like, yeah, this is fine. Remember this. The only issue that Calder has with this entire invasion, really, the only thing that he's like, I did not want this to happen, was the fucking circle. That's it. Before that, everything else, Calder is A-okay. It's his plan. Remember, it was his plan to attack what was the Battle of the Hill, Red Hill, whatever.
Yeah.
The ambush when he comes around and thinks he's going to get him at Red Hill is his plan.
Yeah, it's his whole plan.
I always got the feeling throughout Clover's chapters that Calder does not want this to happen.
I
Calder
did not
is
get that.
not in favor of this invasion whatsoever. I don't know. Listeners,
No.
let's settle this right, okay? Because clearly there's no fucking debate that's going to happen here.
Yeah.
But give us a comment. What do you reckon?
Yeah, give us a comment on how George is wrong, and then let the Archlector silence you.
Oh God,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
you will be eating the Chamberlain.
Oh shit!
Oh!
Oh, Georgie boy, you're funny. Well, look, I mean, we kind of got sidetracked there. So look, I'll just keep kind of summarize this shit. Is that he meets Stour, Leo, right? And Stour at first is very well. Look who it is, the little young lion, yeah. and then Leo's like, hello, Great Wolf. So like, I guess thought about like, what if we want to like be friends? And Stour was like, what do you mean? Tell me some more.
I've got to say, this is like a romance novel. Like if the two protagonists that are meant to fuck are talking for this, like, I didn't think you'd come into the den of the wolf.
I know. I love it because
that is very true. That is very true.
Oh, you might get bitten.
And he's probably like,
yeah. He is. Leo and Stour get away with a lot dialogue wise because Joe is so consistent otherwise, and it makes sense because these two idiots think that they literally are like, I am the lion, roar. So like they of course would talk this way, and it's so accurate, but still corny, but in the perfect way.
And but it's also at the same time, it's the true way of seeing people fight on the street. If you ever seen two fucking average people that are drunk fight, this is the kind of dirty talk they do. They're trash talking to each other. Like, do you want to go? Yeah, I want to go. Okay. Let's go. And it's exactly the same as if they were fucking.
Yeah, I mean, so Leo does manage to kind of convince Stour. He talks about how if we're friends, then it allows us to chase glory, fame, your name. So because this way, the circle of the world is so wide, there's so much, there's so many different places they could go to, fight. Stour can go east of the Kryn, like all of them can. So he appeals to that part of Stour. He does appeal to Stour's sense of grandeur that way. And then Stour's like, I think maybe we do understand each other after all. And then he's like, let's shake on it. And let's shake this cock. Sorry. And then Leo goes to shake his hand. And Stour pulls him close and has a knife to his neck. He's like, didn't everyone ever tell you to trot into the wolf's lair? And Leo's like, I'm not clever, but we've tried being enemies. Look where it got us. And then Stour kind of flirts with him some more. And he goes, I like you, Brock. Maybe we're two of a kind after all. The young lion and the great wolf together. There's a partnership that'll make the world tremble. And that's the end of that chapter. Boys, how do you want to rate this one?
It's funny.
It is funny. I think we made it funnier too, but yeah.
If we made it funnier as well, I think it might be. Yeah, it's completely fucking homoerotic in a slightly unintentional and probably mostly intentional way. Abercrombie. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 6 because there isn't really that much substance to it beyond that. It's really funny, but yeah, go on.
That's fair. I think I'm gonna give it a 7. And the reason why is because I think that the characterization of Leo has hit a turning point here. I've been saving this for a while because Leo's character is so well written, but his moments where he changes are here throughout the story. And it's great because when everybody else thinks Leo has changed, he hasn't. And whenever everyone thinks he stayed the same or that he's proven himself to be right, that's when he changes. So he changes in this moment. He I think this is one of his best. I know we talk about, we're, dicking with the dialogue and all that, but he actually is. This is a very tactical move. I know his mom told him to do it, but let's be real. He's a Lord Governor now. He says, fuck you, mommy. He's already said it before he was Lord Governor. He doesn't need mommy. And in fact, he actually does speak very well here. He speaks in the manner of a great warrior to another great warrior, whether they are or not. And he does convince them that they should work together for now. And I think, too, that shows his authority, his kind of command that he does have, annoyingly, is when he walked into the camp and he's like, Black Older, I think your men have had enough time here, in the Protectorate. I think it's time for you to leave. That is so foreshadowing and indicative of the same way he acts later on. He comes in with his boys. He goes, I'm now in charge. Everyone listen to me. And I just think there's a lot of subtlety here. And I think it's just really well written in that way. It's meant to be kind of played up with the dialogue. And it's meant to be kind of glossed over because, Leo hasn't changed at all. But he has. He's more careful now. He's more cautious. He's using more of his abilities, whether they're subpar or not, or whether how annoying he is or not. And I just like it.
I like that he is sort of rebelling against his mum, and he's doing the right thing for the wrong reasons. And he's going against and betraying his friend as well, that he swore that he would kill Sour.
Well, he did that. He did that in the circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he is now sort of still not even acknowledging it. He doesn't think of Rickle once here.
No, earlier they did. He did. When he talked to Finnery about it.
Yeah, but what I mean is, they have the conversation, but he still doesn't really think about it.
I see what you're saying.
He doesn't ever go, oh no, Rick is right actually. Maybe I should have kept that promise. He just goes, no, I'm just gonna do this because that's what's right. That's what's right in my mind right now, and that's the most important thing in the world.
I pointed it out the last time we talked about him, but Leo also, he didn't spare Stour out of mercy because it was the right thing. He did it because it's what he wanted, because it wasn't what anybody else wanted, because he felt powerful doing it, because he could. And similarly here, his mother suggests it, and he thinks it's the right decision. And I think that's one of the lessons he learns, he does need to listen to other people. But at the end of the day, he doesn't do it because of that. He does it because it makes him feel powerful. He's all for that rush. And he learns over time that rush doesn't come from a physical space. It comes from a mental space. And I just, man, it's really well written. Jeffrey, what's your score? I'm sorry. I rambled on too long.
Good. Fuck these guys. I'm giving this a 5.
It's just because you don't like Leo.
Don't like Stour. I fucking hate Leo. So fuck him. Give it a 5. And look, it's a very quick chapter. But there is, like Harrison said, a lot of, you see the layers of Leo's character growth here. You do see that, and it's very true. The way he talked, so he's tactful, right? Like you said, in terms of how he talks to Stour. Yes, and this is the way to approach Stour, I guess. It's just the way Leo's talking to him is just very for glory, for fame. And it's here's one thing I wanted to point out. This trilogy is very funny and interesting, is that the main characters, right? The main POVs that we get they're young kids, either in their 20s, their early 20s, 20 years old to 26 or 28, right? And they are effing, sorry, there was a bug. And they're all fucking each other. And they're either brothers and sisters, or they're gay and straight, or they're crossing cultures. It's all hormones. It's all fucking hormones and these young kids. And I think there's a big difference between this one and the previous trilogy, where it's everyone's in their 30s. Everyone's kind of suffered a lot. And these people, I don't know. I think these characters... Hold on. I am telling you my opinion. I'm not done.
Okay, finish.
I'm just saying, that's something I literally just, it struck me today when I was reading. I was like, everybody here like Leo, Stour, like the homoerotic tension there. Leo's repressed, his homosexuality. Leo and Rika fucking. Leo and Savine. Then it's Orso Savine, Orso Rika. Even like wasn't there like sexual tension with Orso and Japo? And then I bet you even when Orso and Leo met, right? Then they like bicker.
All right, hang on. Let me.
Not in the original trilogy wasn't like this. I'll tell you that right now.
All right, may I?
There
sir?
wasn't as much sex. There was not as much sex.
May I, sir?
Yeah.
One, we're dealing with different kinds of characters. I know you know
young
that,
kids.
but
Mm-hmm.
we're dealing with characters who are already socially intermingled when we didn't have that before. Number two, we are dealing with some kids. I want you to note that Rika and Leo are the only kids in this way. Orso is almost 30.
No.
Savine is almost 30. No, she is. She's almost 30.
Right. They both are. Yeah, they both are.
Her and Orso's character are not hormonal, annoying characters. Not at all. I don't think so at all. So that leaves Leo and Rika. And by the second book, yes, Leo is still this way because that's his character, but Rika is over that shit. By the time she unlocks her long eye stuff, she is on the ball. She is not fucking around. So
I think they're all. It's just not. I didn't mean to say hormonal. I meant to say they're all horny. Yeah. They're all horny for each other.
I think you should just look at the meme that I just sent.
I just saw it. I would
say, in a little hatred, they are. After this, I don't think so.
I think this is the first lore adapted to the times that it was written in, like late 2019. Early 2020. This was the sort of, the space of fantasy at the time. So Joey's sort of trying to come to the lowest common denominator in a certain way, but also keep his characters, appeal to the broadest audience and all that.
Yeah. Well,
Which, again, I do get, Jeffrey. I do understand why you don't like these as much.
I just.
But you have to admit, the characters are just as good. they're just weird.
They're very, that's exactly, they're just as good. They're just all kinds of horny, I guess.
You're just an old man, Jeffrey.
I am. Oh, my age is showing through. But I'll give it a 5 out of 9 fingers. And so we'll move on to our next segment, which is our character spot. Boys, who are we shining a spotlight on? Hildy.
Empty.
Let's talk about Hildy.
Hildy is Orso's right-hand girl, right? And he's dependent on her. She's everything to him. She lights his fires and makes his bed and probably irons his clothes and all those other things as well.
I don't know about that.
And we find out probably all those things, the manservant, but a young girl. Yeah, young girl servant, maybe. I don't know,
A young girl servant.
Yeah, exactly. But we find out she's completely loyal right to the end. She stands right by him through torment and service and slavery, and she's our girl. We love her.
I know you wanted to talk about her specifically in the previous chapter about her disappointment with Orso, right? Did you want to talk about that?
Well, she does this several times throughout the trilogy, where Hildy is sort of Orso's connection to the common world. So, this is the first time he finds out that he has consequences for his actions. All of these things that happened, and he's negotiated this amnesty, in quotes, where it's not really an amnesty, and he knows that, but he's not really known that. And then he gets reunited with his lover, and he gets caught away with that, and then Hildy comes and is like, you knew this would fucking happen, and he actually takes it seriously.
Yeah. So
if this was anybody else, any other servant or whatever, he'd be like, whatever.
Yeah,
but
I think
Hildy.
Yeah, with Hildy, like you said, George, he immediately knew something was wrong. He places a lot of weight on her. I guess you would say her judgment, her assessment of him, and
I mean, you can even tell just from the way she says it. She's like, "You knew this would happen." And it's like, what? Like,
well, fuck,
just
yeah.
look outside, and it's like he immediately gets a sense of dread just from the way she's talking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he's connected to her more than probably anybody else, and I just think that's fantastic. I love Hildy. She's we get much more of her later, and we will obviously talk much more of her later. But wonderful character.
Harrison, did you want to add?
So Hildy, it's fun. I talked to my brother about this earlier today because he is almost exactly where we're at. So the little hitch. He just finished the book today. And he pointed out the fact that he thought about this, and I think we talked about it once before when we didn't start the podcast. But he said how Hildy was just a washing maid in a whorehouse. You know, she was presumably a couple years younger, and he saved her for all intents and purposes. And they don't talk about that at all. It's all in subtext, and it's really, really actually sweet. You totally see it. Tunney started hanging around him because he thought he could get away with stuff. They liked hanging out, and then over time, Tunney realized what kind of person Orso was and wanted to be around that. Kind of like he liked being part of the first company or whatever.
Because we know that Tunney is practical and he's extremely cynical, but he will do the right thing when he needs to. So the fact that he follows Orso is a good tell.
Yeah, and Hildy is like, you can totally see him at the whorehouse. He sees her back there. He says something to her, and she says something snarky back, and he's like, "Hey, why don't you go do this thing for me, and I'll pay you." He doesn't directly say, "I want to save you," or "I want to get you out of this whorehouse," or whatever. He just starts paying her money to do other things, and I think that speaks to her character and how she takes up on that, and all the stuff she ends up going through is, we know at the end of the story, like you said, loyal to a fault. She is so vengeful by these circumstances. She is willing to team up with the fucking first of the Magi and figure shit out. It's pretty cool. We're gonna see more of Hildy in the future, and this is kind of the first glimpse we see of their actual relationship, and that's pretty cool.
Hashtag Team Hildy.
All right, well, thank you for that perspective, boys. Hildy, we shall be seeing you a lot more. So maybe you'll have a big part to play in some coming books or maybe a future trilogy.
Please.
Please. So we'll go on to our final chapter read through, which is also going to be our final segment. And this is Empty Chest. And this one is Sticky Ricky's perspective. And she is basically pissed. She's been pissed the entire time since the duel, since Leo did not kill Stour. And she's waiting
understandably.
More that why should listen, man, to me it's like this. Leo's the connecting connecting glue to all of the issues here, right?
Oh man, stop thinking about stories here.
No, fuck him. Anyway,
he promised her that he would kill her.
Okay.
Kill Stour, right?
Well, he's the Lord Governor, so he can't be putting promises ahead of the needs of the Union. So there you go. Anyway, so she's pissed. She's waiting for him on the hillside as he makes his return from. So basically, she's waiting for Leo, and Leo's obviously walking back with Durand and Gloward. And I like how she obviously Ricky wants to talk to him. And Durand's like, "Do you want me to stay?" And Leo's like, No, I'll catch up with you. But then Durand,
Ricker literally broke the fabric of the universe to see the future, to see Leo win the duel, and then he still fucking spared him. The Ricker has literally broken the rules of physics just to do this, and Leo's like, it's no big deal. Don't worry about it.
well, he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't really know what it takes to do the long eye.
Yeah, I know. They never do. They never do they?
No,
I think you're talking from another place there, George.
Yeah.
They never know what I go through.
What I mean is this is a really good way of Joe showing understanding of that people do not understand the consequences of their actions.
Right. Well, and also I think we have to consider that the part of what's playing into Rika's state of mind here is right before she sees Leo. Obviously, we learned that Ricky since then has been kind of basically seeing like ghosts everywhere, not necessarily ghosts, but either the past or future of like everything of
she
everybody.
literally broke the world open.
Yeah.
in
Well,
order to see.
she broke her long eye open. That's what she did. And so then obviously I do like the part where Duran's like, "Do you want me to stay?" And Leo's like, "No, it's okay." And then apparently the looks he gave Rika, anyone would have thought it was him and Leo who were the couple. Wink, wink. So anyway, basically, Ricky's yelling at him. She admonishes him. She calls him an idiot to try to even be friends with Sour because he's just him and Calder are they're not going to just let this go because they want to unify the North, and that you should like you broke your promise. You broke your promise.
He did. He did.
He did.
He broke his promise.
And that's what it's like she's really upset about this, and apparently
But Harrison, you've said that history works to say Rika's visions work how they're going to work. She sees the future, she just doesn't understand it. So when she says the wolf will get the better but the lion wins, that's all it means. That he's going to win the duel doesn't mean that you're going to kill him. So when she gets invested in this killing Stour thing, it is just make believe.
Well, hang on. No, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking that yes, she's. I think what it is, and I think we mentioned it before, is the fact that Rika is so hell bent on making. She's made Stour Nightfall the center point of her adolescent hatred that she's never felt before. It makes her feel strong, makes her feel powerful to feel these things. And it's easy to hate Stour. I mean, it's easy for us to hate him. And it's so she forces that, and she makes it even more exaggerated because she's being immature. And so she just is centering on that, focusing only on that, rather than actually being logical. So I think it's really what everything comes from here.
Yeah, I mean, she rails at him, right? Even says like, "You only won because Stour was a bigger fucking show off than you. You only won because of me with the long eye. You were clearly the second best fighter in that circle." And Leo does say to her like, "You know what? What is the thing you said to me? No one cares. No one remembers how someone won, but I won."
He kind of does roast her with that one.
Yeah, and then he just just walked right past her, almost like barged into her. So Ricky and Leo seem to be parting on bad ways, and then a short time later, we see that Ricky is venting to Dogman and to Issernifail, and they're both. I don't know if I would say they're both trying to calm her down, but definitely Dogman is.
Two different ways, I think.
Two different ways. Yep, two different ways. And Ricky is obviously going through like whatever, because like Ison tells her that Leo's gonna go back to Adjoa for some ceremony or whatever. And even though Ricky is mad as fuck at Leo, she kind of doesn't want him to leave, which is like okay. Ison's like what did Ison say? The travails of youth or whatever the fuck. And so then Dogman does tell her that she's gonna go with him. Her and Ison are gonna go with them to the Union. He does, and so Shivers, and he goes. One of the first things he does is says pour a drink on his old friend Grimm's grave, which is like,
he goes. You don't have to say anything because he was never one much for words. I'm like,
yeah, loved it. And then he says, but there will be deals made in Adjoa, and they need to be represented. After Ostrong, they were promised 6 chairs on the Open Council. Never happened. So he's pushing. He wants Rika to be the representative for the Protectorate there. And then Dogman tells her, like, what else you could do is to just let go of it. Let go of the feuds, the need for vengeance, the grudges, the enemies. He says, like, take it from a man with a lot of bitter experience. Vengeance is just an empty chest you choose to carry. One you have to go bent under the weight of all your days. One score settled only plants the seeds of two more. And then,
I
because
think this is just Joe Abercrombie speaking directly to the audience.
yeah, no, for
Don't
sure.
build up your regrets, fellas. Come on.
Well, your regrets, but don't build up.
Just move on.
Don't build up resentment either. Resentment is like the source of a lot of the world's issues, and just people's own individual issues. He says there's no forgetting. He's hemmed in by the memories, besieged by the bastards, the hurts and the regrets, the friends and the enemies, and those who are a bit of both. Too long a lifetime of them. You can't choose what you remember, but you can choose what you can do about it. Time comes, you got to let it all go so you can go back to the mud without the baggage. And the way he's talking about a man, like he's talking like a man, who's ready to die or thinks he's about to die. And Rika kind of senses this, and she's like, "No, don't talk like this. Stop. You're a long way from dying." And she gives him a hug. Yeah, and he says we're all only a hair away all the time. At my age, you have to be ready. And she's like really hugging him tight, and she's like, "I swear to God, I'll let go of it. I promise." But it was starting to seem like she was no good at letting go. Behind his back, Isern tapped her fist against her heart and mouthed one word: "Stone." And that was the end of that chapter. Boys, what do you rate it?
I think he's already grieving for the Dogman individual passing. I think that's what's happening, and that's okay.
I think
that's okay.
I think that's it.
Because I am too. I'm gonna give it. I do like this chapter in a different way. I like how Rika is like, she's seen as the future of the North by Dogman and Isern, and they're both sitting on her shoulder, and they're both. This is the cool part. I like this. They're not trying to tell her, you have to live your life this way. They're giving her advice. They're like, Isern is like, you need to make of your heart of stone so that you can make the hard decisions. And the Dogman basically is like, be better than me. It's like a father should be, And I think that they're both illustrated really well, but also they're two angels, an angel and a demon on her shoulder, right? Be hard, be soft, be hard, be soft. And I think that's well done. And is emotional with Dogman, and just like her, we as the audience feel similarly. Like, we're like, you're gonna have to make some tough decisions, but also like, the Dogman's right. The Dogman is nowadays always right, and he's a good man. He's an old man. He's dying. It's sad, but also Rika needs to chill the fuck out. I'm gonna give it a six and a knuckle again. I know it's another one of those. I do think it's well written, but also like, she's kind of annoying here. Kind of pisses me. Actually, I'm gonna give it a 6. She kind of pisses me off on this one.
I love the fact that she's annoying. The fact that she's annoying is what makes it for me. Sorry, Jeff, go.
No, nothing. I was just gonna say I'm giving it a 5. This chapter was short. We just have Rika just complaining and bitching and complaining, and yeah, apparently you do. But it's very annoying here, and Isern and Dogman are trying to talk sense to her, and they're not doing it in a obnoxious way, but she's just, I don't know. I'm giving it a 5. This chapter is whatever to me. I honestly probably feel lower about it, but I'll give it a 5.
I just think it's the way that people are, right? This is the way that people behave when they are, confronted by this sort of situation. This is the most realistic thing that I can imagine people doing.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's why I like it, not because I like Rika, because I don't, really. Because I don't like her as a person.
Yeah, Sticky Ricky sucks.
Selfish and young and naive, and is that throughout, no matter what happens to her. But I think that she makes the kind of right decision here.
What decision? She didn't make a decision.
Well, she makes the decision to, not explicitly, but implicitly to sort of move away from Leo now. Because Leo was betrayed her.
Oh yeah, that part. That was evident, I thought, but I thought you meant the decision to like let go of things. I'm like, this bitch doesn't let go of shit.
No, that's important too, though. Yeah. Every single person at some point in their life has to go, well, I have to let go of this thing.
Yeah, but we know
it's not good for me.
Yeah, but we know she's not.
Yeah, but nobody really ever lets go forever, do they?
Maybe.
Oh, Joe.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you boys want to name this chapter? That's our show, everyone. We want to thank you all for listening and supporting this podcast. As you know, this is a passion project for the three of us, and your support means oh so much.
Join us next week as we cover Like Rain, Drinks with Mother, and Drinks with Mother.
And make sure you follow us on all of our social media or shoot us an email at circleoftheworldpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts from. And please make sure to rate and review us. Thank you all again for listening.
I promise the amnesty.